So I'm beginning to see a lot more videos by people who have moved to Mexico, and they're young people for the most part. There's a couple in their 30s, but I'm beginning to see some couples in their 40s or 50s. They're moving to Mexico, and things have changed here, really changed. The main thing is there's no more living off the grid here. It's not happening anymore. They have laws. They always had laws. But they weren't so big on enforcing the laws. It was like, you could be here, you're trying to escape child support, go to Mexico, nobody's going to find you. They'll find you now. And the main thing that's happened is this new signing up for things. You have to get what's the equivalent of a Social Security number here if you're a permanent or temporary resident. Now, many people for years on end, I know a woman who's been here 36 years or something like that. When she moved here, she had a tiny pension. I think it was a school teacher's pension. I mean, it was really small, like $500 a month, something like that. Well, she could live in a rural area quite well. And what they did, because you have to qualify to become a temporary or permanent resident, and this is the point of my video today. Now is the time to come if you want to become a resident, to get a visa, because there's an amnesty for a temporary visa. Amnesty means you don't have to show your income. You have to show your birth certificate. You have to show you're a real person and you don't have any criminal background. But they will waive this and give you a 4-year visa. And that means that you can rent an apartment and do a whole bunch of things that you can't do without a visa anymore. It used to be, just come. Things have gotten changed here. The biggest change, of course, is that RFC, where you need to get a Social Security number from Mexico, even if you don't make any money. They're really getting a little crazy here. So that's my big tip for the day. If you're thinking about coming here and you have income of less than $2,000 or less than $1,000 a month from a pension. The other thing is pensions. They love pensions down here because just like the United States, they're not eager to hire people who are going to come here to work. In fact, you're not permitted to work here without a work permit, and that's a whole other thing. But if you have skills and you want to go through the work permit, give it a try. It's like the United States, trying to get a work permit in the United States. You can get a permit to visit the United States if you're a Mexican. If you have a job in Mexico, they love to give you that because you're a tourist. It's a tourist permit. You can get a tourist permit. It means you can go shopping there, visit your family and your friends there. And it's the same thing here. You can get a tourist permit here, but you have to not be working. So the RFC is hilarious to get one because you have to get on a line, one way or the other. It's either going to be an online line or it's going to be a line in person and you have to have your paperwork. And I did it a few weeks ago and it was just hilarious. It's and it took about as long as it takes you to go to the DMV in the United States, an hour and a half. So if you're thinking about moving to Mexico, excuse me, now is your time to take your chance. And you just look at some of the other videos that people are making. But it's no longer possible to live off the grid down here. You can get one tourist visa, which lasts for 6 months. And they're not renewing them anymore. But the 6 months is good enough to decide if you want to do this or not. You don't really need to speak Spanish if you're going to live near the border. Practically everybody near the border, that is within 20 minutes of the border. Rosarito, don't need it. Don't need it for parts of Tijuana, you don't really need it. Ensenada, depends. If you live in what we call expatriate communities, I do with quotes, because expatriate communities are basically foreign communities, immigrant communities of Americans. They call themselves expatriates. They're the only immigrants in the world that call themselves expatriates. Expatriates comes from when England conquered India, and English people, the colonists, lived there in India. They were considered expatriates. Everybody else in the world is a migrant. So when Americans come here and they call themselves expatriates, they're really saying, well, we're colonists. We're going to colonize your country. Or we already did, which we didn't. Spain did. Spain invaded Mexico, but the United States never did. I'm not sure why. It wasn't on the list of places to invade, I guess. I have my RFC. I've now got a tax thing, even though I make no money in Mexico. And they say I don't have to file a tax thing here because I make no money in Mexico. It's getting stricter worldwide. I still say Mexico is the best place for quality of life. Absolutely the best place for the quality of life. Bye.